Oh, it looks like I'm online. I never know. This is slightly different to what I'm used to. Welcome to today's webinar. This is the third webinar of the series focused on my indicators. It still looks strange because, oh, it's okay. It's the third webinar focused on my indicators. I decided to relate it to the ATAS X version, the X version of the platform, and show you all my current suite, which means the free indicators and also the paid ones. We covered, during the first webinar, I was talking about ATAS X in general, how you can start using it. It was a small teaching. Then I showed you the free 5, which are 5 of my free indicators, plus Linescope, plus NODEtective. Those indicators create lines and zones. Linescope is an indicator focused on lines, such as price action, volume profile, market profile, VWAP, session, initial balance. That's it. And NODEtective searches for the high and low volume nodes, so it's entirely different. There's no relationship, literally no relationship between them. And today I'm going to cover semaPHorek, PatternAction, and R.A.I.N. Let me begin with the general theory, with something that is very important. I started with series, actually I should switch. Yeah, I started with a series for ATAS where I cover the list idea. That means that if you trade, you should actually respect some kind of pyramid. It's basically what list is. It's a pyramid which looks, let's say, like so. Not nice pyramid. Fine. And the point is that you mustn't open positions just by seeing that semaPHorek is showing something, because we need the base floor and these are the levels. So there is a Linescope. I will use it like so, LNS, Linescope, NODEtective, and actually a little, well, not a little, PatternAction. These are L. This is the reason why we open the position, because we expect a reaction at the level. Reaction should have reason, because we don't want to trade something that doesn't make any sense. Look at this development. I'm at the S&P 500 chart, 5 minute, and look at these highs, and probably this order block. Yeah, I don't know whether there is or there is not. And there's the gap even. There's a small fair value gap. So there was the reason to go this high, because there was the liquidity above these levels. A lot of traders who decided to join the downtrend were placing stop losses above previous swing high. And these 2 wicks, that's a liquidity sweep, which happens very often. It's a deception, basically. And then this huge trend followed. So this makes sense. But opening a position based on semaPHorek or the best indicator in the world doesn't make any sense, because you want to join the trend. You don't want to trade alone. Then you should, and it's a kind of additional confirmation that you are in a correct direction. Then you should respect the structure, and structure is PatternAction. I will be talking about it today. So this is the middle floor actually. And then there's T. T stands for trigger, L stands for levels, S stands for structure, and T stands for trigger. Trigger is the final confirmation. It's the candle where you see that the site which you are going to join won the deceptive fight. If you are going to open a short position, you're obviously going to go together with those who opened short position. VWAP also levels category. VWAP sits somewhere between, because you can obviously trade the VWAP levels, but this is Linescope actually. If you mean such as point of control based on VWAP of the previous day or week, then it's Linescope. But if you mean current day, well, actually that's the same, because we have the levels from VWAP entirely in Linescope. So it's list, it's a level. Yeah, exactly. Nevertheless, VWAP is also very important for the trend, and trend is actually structure, you know. So I would place VWAP somewhere here, because we can use VWAP both as the source of the lines of the levels, and VWAP reveals what the current trend is. So basically structure. So VWAP is a very useful indicator. I like it a lot. And that's why I added this slope of the central line to VWAP Ultra, which is the part of 3.5. It's for free. And it shows you the exact value of the slope. So whether the line is going up or down. So this way you can basically backtest your entries. And if you see that, for example, values above, I will make up the number. Values above plus 0.05 are more profitable than anything below that for the long positions, then you can basically pay attention to the VWAP as well, to the slope of the indicator. So that's actually the idea of the VWAP. And then there's the trigger, and that is the semaPHorek. So it's a last confirmation, because if I describe the idea of list again, let's say, yeah, okay, I already know. Let's say there is the level. This one is a level. It's L. And you obviously see the reaction. I mean, these candles, there was a straight downtrend, you know, then there was this pullback. Okay, but yes, it's still a pullback. Until here, actually, already even here, we continue preferring downtrend, because there has no been any shift of structure, and this is very, very important based on the 5-minute chart. Because if I switch to something faster, such as 1-minute chart or tick chart or Renko chart, then I start seeing the structure there, because structure is obviously happening at the lowest time frame, and then it basically morphs through to the higher time frames, such as 5-minute. Nevertheless, the higher the time frame, the stronger the trend, of course, because if you start thinking like, oh, from now on I'm going to enter based on 5-second chart to be faster in the position, it's not a good approach, because there's a lot of noise. There's a lot of computers, and we are unable to fight with computers. We need to have retail at the other side, because we are able to be cleverer, have more discipline, be more consistent, and these are the this is the other side we can win, we can beat. But the lower the time frame, the more computers, the more algorithms, and so on and so on, and this is difficult. So there was this reaction to this level, but it's nothing, you know. You mustn't open the position just because you were able to identify a level, and the price came there, and you see an entry candle. I mean, the trigger, you know, you mustn't jump over the middle line and not respecting the structure, because that is crucial we have a level, fine, but how we basically distinguish between reactions to the level and just touching the level? They touch it, they make a small pullback, and they continue the original trend. That's not what we want. We want to join trends that already are in progress. So price created these highs, you know, and this was, by the way, a reaction to these lows. So this was just a flip. That's okay, it was just a flip, continuation downwards. However, at this moment, because we created here lower highs, that's okay. This is high, this was obviously lower high, and this was also lower high. Nevertheless, we broke through. Do you see that? This very self-confident, long, strong candle. So from this on, I will be careful with shorts. And if I opened short positions here, well, I would consider closing them. Because look at that. This is yet another previous high, and it got broken again. So basically, as soon as I see closing above that level, I will wait for the pullback, and the pullback can happen at a lower time frame, and I join the uptrend. From here on, it makes much more sense to join the uptrend, and here you will wait for a trigger. This is the final confirmation of your intention that you are going to open long position, because there was level, because there was just the shift in the structure, and there is the trigger which confirms that the buyers are still controlling the trend, are still behind the wheel. So they push the price higher and higher. So this is the most, well, the most. It's trading, so you have to be very, very careful. It's the most, it's the safest area to open a long position, unlike here and unlike here. It's risky. Nevertheless, here is it less risky than obviously here. This is the riskiest way to opening trade here. But if I switched to lower time frames, you would see that the trend started breaking highs and actually protecting the lows at, say, Renko 8 or Renko 6, which are good time frames for S&P 500, or Renko 18, which is a good time frame for Nasdaq. I like trading indices. I don't trade crude oil or gold or other instruments, other similar instruments, so I can tell you what are the correct time frames for indices. But, and again, it suits me. 10 traders have 10 different approaches, 10 different psychology, 10 different experience, and so on and so on. So you have to be careful. What works for me does not necessarily have to work for you. So be very careful. So semaPHorek is a trigger. It's a confirmation. Go on. It makes sense. The site is in the control. I developed semaPHorek. I was developing semaPHorek from March or April, I don't remember, 2024. So it's 2 years old. And the reason was following. I was using this, is it here? No, it's not. Settings. I hope I have the template here. It's called all or something like this. I want to show you. Otherwise I will import it. It's no big deal. I can import it, but it was somewhere here, I think. No, okay. Import. I need to find that because it's probably somewhere else. Chart. Already unified templates. No. Templates. Yeah, it's here somewhere. It was a 5 I think it was, no, it was Renko chart. It was Renko chart. Just a second. I think I will try to find that. No. Okay. No. Here is it. Aha. And Q 5 minutes. 3. Okay. Where is it? Recycle bin. No. Here is it. I'll copy the path and open with new open path. It's here. Okay. It's here. Oh, it's already under ATAS 6. Fine. I will use the path. And it's somewhere here. Here it is. Overwrite. So it's already here. I will overwrite it. And where is it? It's here. I see. Okay. Apply. Chart settings, indicators. That's okay. Yes. That was the template which I was using before I came up with semaPHorek, but I need to switch to something different. Let me switch to NASDAQ, which was I was trading Renko 14 at that time, but basically the difference between Renko 14 and Renko 18 is marginal. So let's stick to this, and basically it was micro NASDAQ to be absolutely precise, because there's a difference between NASDAQ and micro NASDAQ. NASDAQ and micro NASDAQ are the only instruments, or basically it is the only instrument that has higher volume on micro contract, because obviously when you trade, for example, S&P 500, then you analyze S&P 500, but with NASDAQ you get higher volumes per candle at micro contract. That's interesting, but that's it. So I stuck to micro. I need to increase you something font so that you see that, because it's too small. Yeah, okay, this is great, and I need to shift it a little, like so. It's great. Yeah, positive delta. I just changed the color so that it's better. Okay, and red is red. Great. So this was the settings I was using before. I need to, yeah, that's it. That was it. Bits, asks, delta. Then I was paying attention to the volume at the candle as well as delta of the candle. I was paying attention to value area of the candle. These are these areas, you know. I was paying attention where did the candle close, because obviously closing outside the value area is better than closing inside the value area. Then I were paying attention to the POC, to the point of control of the candle. If, for example, there is the POC and the candle closes below it, then it's better. Then I was paying attention to the finished business, which is being represented by 0 at the top or at the bottom of the candle. Then I was paying attention to the imbalances, which are these red and green numbers among the footprints. Do you see it here? And the most important thing which I was paying attention to was, but I don't have the settings now, of course, was absorptions. Because absorption is here I have absorptions. Do you see that? Do you see these circles actually here as well? I'm not sure whether you see it because it's a little bit smaller, but I hope you see that. I will shift it here, the chat, so that I can read you. Okay. Have you tried the 5 seconds time frame for semaPHorek? Personally, I found better signals on micro NASDAQ using 5 seconds instead of Renko 18. I wonder if it's because I didn't properly configure Renko settings. I don't know. I don't know what your settings for Renko are, but what I like at Renko candles is that they always close as the candle with a wick, never as doji. There's always wick. So it's always very easy to say if the candle is positive or negative, because I pay attention how the candle closes. Or basically where the candle closes, not how the candle closes. I was wrong. Let me explain it. Let's say any candle, doesn't matter, but I will explain it at the green candle, which looks like you will see that, which looks like this. So this is the body of the candle, and say these are the wicks of the candle, like so. Yeah. There is obviously open here and close here. Close is higher than open because the candle is green. Then there was the low of the candle and there was the high of the candle. And the most important thing in this is where the candle closes. Closed. Not how, green or red. Not to mention that there are also gray candles in time-based time frames, such as 5 seconds, 1 minute, daily, and so on and so on. The candle can be gray. But here, I pay attention where did the candle close. I look for the mean of the candle, which is the central line, central 50% of the candle, which is here. This is the 50% of the height of the candle. And now I pay attention where did the candle close. The candle closed here. So despite being green, this candle is negative. It's negative because it closed below the mean. See that? And the other extreme, at the other side actually, compare it to this green candle. Imagine I have such a candle which looks like this, and it has a tiny wick at the bottom, and it has a longer wick at the bottom. It's a red candle. It opened here, closed here. High and low are the same. Therefore, the mean of the candle is at the same level, and the candle closed here. So the candle closed positive, despite being green. Despite being red. So this is positive candle, and this is negative candle. And this is important because this shows me again. It's the simplest method how you can say which part of the market participants, which group, either the buyers or sellers, were stronger. And this is an algorithm running in semaPHorek as well. It starts with deciphering whether the candle is positive or negative. But obviously for semaPHorek it doesn't matter if I use the time-based time frame or non-time-based time frame, because it basically subtracts value, searches for the 50% of the height and compare it to the closing. That's it. So it's just for me, the Renko candles. But I like the Renko candles because the important thing is that it is able to filter out the rotations. The higher time frame for Renko, the higher possibility to filter out the rotations. You can work with 5 seconds candle, which are very fast, and you will get situations. For example, here in similar areas, in areas like this, you will get following situation. You get the rotation, then liquidity sweep, return to the range, liquidity sweep at the other side, return to the range, and so on and so on and so on. And each movement represents one 5-second candle. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on and so on and so on. If you set up Renko properly, and Renko 18 is it's not based on any science. It's just my observation. I think that 18 is high enough and still low enough. It filters out, because it waits until the candle creates the movement of 18 ticks in case of 18 Renko time frame, of course. Each body Each body is 15 ticks high, each body. And the difference is the wicks, because you can compare this wick, there is a wick, it's a reversal candle, and the reversal candles have longer wicks. And compare it to this candle, you have a 18 tick body with 2 tick wick only, and the candle closes always at the low of the candle or at the top of the candle, never somewhere between. So it's yet another advantage. That's why I like non-time based time frames, and semaPHorek works, in my opinion, well with Renko or tick chart or range XV or range US, unsymmetrical range, and so on and so on. So I was using this template. I was paying attention to so many actually values, so many indices. And the point is, yes, when you use time-based time frame, then you know when the candle closes. Nevertheless, at this moment, semaPHorek analyzes 9 parameters of each candle, plus actually the closing of the candle. I mean the positive or negative. So, well, 10, but in fact 10. 9 or but in fact 10. And you should do it for every candle. Every 5 seconds you have to analyze these 9 parameters. It's very exhausting. Very, very exhausting. I felt exhausted after 30 minutes of trading the Renko time frame. Yes, but with Renko, there's the following situation. I need to make it a little bit. Where is the crosshair? Okay, I will change the color a bit so that you see it, and I will make it wider. Yeah, great, that is great. If you see the times at the bottom of the screen, so this candle opened at 19:01:41. This candle opened 19:01:55. So this candle took 14 seconds. 55. This candle 02:49. This candle was 54 seconds long. This candle was 1 minute long. And this is the filtration. We can actually do a very simple thing that I will clone the chart like so. Look at that. Clone. Yes. And I'm talking about this area. I'm interested in this area. Drawing. Shapes. Rectangle. This is the area I'm interested in. I will make it global. And let's see how the chart looked like at... but let me be precise, otherwise it doesn't make any sense, does it? I want to compare these 4 Renko candles to the development at the 5-second chart. And it is the same instrument, obviously, that's why I cloned the chart. And I go to 5 seconds. So this is it. This is it. Where are you? It's 1902. 1902. Yes, it's here. Yeah, that is exactly what I was talking about. Look at that. Look at the overlapping candles. Look at the number of the overlapping candles. I extend it, and that is a great example. Check this out, because the rectangle is linked. So when I make any change on the right, it's being mirrored on the left. Look at that, how many candles I include. Yeah? And I will get 1 Renko. And I will move on. Look at that. I will keep on adding. Look at that. Look at this example. You know? So it saves time, basically. Look at that. Look at that. How many candles it saves. I need to analyze 4 candles instead of 36. So that is the idea behind the non-time-based time frames to filter out the rotations, to smooth it out. And even in uptrend, downtrend, there was this nice pullback. Look at that. And there were 1, 2, 3, 4 red candles, 1 green candle, 1 doji. That is the example I talked about. Gray candle. Then we have a rotation. It was really nothing. It was a waste of time. And compare it to the development at the Renko. Where was it? I will again create a rectangle, like so. A rectangle, yes. And I'm interested in this. And I make it global. It's global. And it's 1859. Yeah, it's here. Look at that. You get red candles only. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red candles, 1 green candle, 2 red candles, and then green candles, a series of green candles. Yeah, compare the development between those 2 rectangles. Look at that. Yeah, there is 1 red candle only, 1 red candle, and compare it to the development at the 5 second. Well, that's also 1 red candle. Okay, that was not very exemplary example, but I think you know what I mean. It's much easier to say this is a pullback, this is a trend continuation, and this is the rotation. There is an ugly rotation again, where they somehow pretended going down and they hesitated, created lower high, created lower lows, then broke through, and so on and so on. So that is the reason. What time do you trade with semaPHorek? I use semaPHorek at Nasdaq with Renko 18. So like said before, compare these candles. Every candle is different. Each candle is different. They have one thing in common. They close in 5 seconds, which is great because you know when the candle closes. That is, in my opinion, the only disadvantage of Renko and non-time-based time frames in general, that you don't know when the candle closes. So you have to be prepared that the candle can close at any time, in next 2 seconds or in next minute. That is the disadvantage, because you wait for the movement of 18 ticks, not for the clock at the wall. 1 minute, 5 seconds, 15 minutes, 4 candles per hour. What if there's a rotation? So there are advantages and obviously disadvantages. And yes, to be honest with you, it took me quite some time to get used to the Renko chart and Renko candles because they are different. But I see it started already with the power bar indicator. Look at that. Look at that, how easy it is and how it shows. I did not set anything. You have not seen me setting up anything. And look at that, how the power bars indicator nicely work. It's not a holy grail. Yes, you get a red candle. Yes, you get a green candle and the trend continues. However, you get a green candle and there's the pullback, because I want to see the candle in the desired direction, either at the bottom of the swing or at the top of the swing, because that means the power. That is the fight. Where is the power? Where is the volume? That represents the fighters, the warriors. The right side fighting with the left side. The buyers fighting with the sellers. Because they stopped here the uptrend. That's why there is the green candle. Because there is 2,390 contracts at this candle. It took 2,390 contracts to push the price 18 ticks higher. 18 doesn't play any role. It doesn't matter at all, I could have said, 20 or 30 or 15 or 31. It doesn't matter. It's just a constant which you compare the market to. 18, there's no significance at all. Maybe 19 is even better. Maybe 16 is better. It doesn't matter. But that is important. You start thinking in the constant view. It took 406 contracts to push the price higher by 18 contracts. I'm not interested in, look at that. It took 555 contracts to close the candle in the next 5 seconds. It doesn't say anything. Because it would have closed with one contract, with 50,000 contracts, basically with 0 contracts, or with 123,766. It doesn't matter. The number. Well, yes, there were 555 contracts traded within 5 seconds, if you think this way. But I don't know. I'm really used to the Renko candles. That's why I use them. And all of a sudden, you see that usually the average to push the price higher or lower is something, let's say, 400 contracts. Is it? And all of a sudden, there are 2,361. All of a sudden. So there was something in this area, And then there was 2,390 at this candle. Look at that. So the volume is more than... So the volume is at least twice the height as the average of the previous 20 candles. That is the purpose of semaPHorek. Quick visualization of the candles with the fight. So there's either fight to turn downtrend to uptrend, or there's the fight to stop the uptrend. And yes, it's not Holy Grail. So it sometimes happens somewhere between. But then you can expect something on the right, because there was reason for that. Everything has some reason. It's not just a coincidence having two candles here. Maybe they were fighting for this low, and maybe there was this liquidity sweep. And well, then there are these blue candles, which represents lack of volume. There was less than 1/10 of the average of the volume from the previous 20 candles. But I don't use it. But look at that. It's not bad, is it? Again, at the very high of the swing. And there should have been a movement upwards, but they decided to go lower and so on. So I was paying attention to a lot of parameters and to a lot of things. Yeah, Renko 18 can be very fast. Very, very, very fast. And I hate it. I was hating NASDAQ for months. Maybe a year. It's not an easy instrument, but I have a friend of mine who trades NASDAQ only for years, and he somehow helped me to get used to the instrument, to understand it, to learn it, to see the deceptions as the advantages. And that is basically probably that is why I came up with semaPHorek, because the core idea, look at that, the core idea are absorptions. You have absorptions here. I don't know whether you see the small, you know what, I will increase the size, otherwise I won't be able to explain that. 35, okay, it's in your visualization now. Yeah, size, I will change it to maybe 15. Yes, now you start seeing it. And the object color, I will make it, you know what, I will make it without any transparency, so that you know. And what did I say? What did I set? 15. So I need to set 15 at the green side as well. You see that? Yes. Maybe I will increase it even to 25. Even better, even better, like so. And that's cluster search indicator. That's the indicator I was using for identifying the absorptions. And the idea is that I want to see absorption at the extreme, at the high of the swing or at the low of the swing. And I was paying attention to the setup so that I think I found a good setting for this time frame, for this instrument, and obviously for this session, because there's difference between Europe and America. So these are settings for America, and look at that, it works. And I traded it at the levels. So I waited for the reaction there, and if the reaction happened, then I opened the position. For example, if there was the level here, for example here, look at that. If there was the level I was paying attention to, then I saw that there was the reaction. So I was able to quantify it, to say, yes, that was the reaction. Because I saw the power bar to the level, that is important. And then I saw the candle that confirmed the reaction. So it's a measurement, it's a calculation, it's a calculator, or how do I say it? It's a light, you know? Either the light is on or the light is off. There's nothing in between. Well, today it is. You can turn on the lights in your living room for 40% if you use whatever, Philips. But you know what I mean. Either there is the light or there is no light. And that was the idea. But I had to pay attention to a lot of parameters. This candle, 1850, 51.24, this candle, 1851.51, which means 25 seconds. 25 seconds, this candle. And this candle, 51.51, and this candle is 51.58. 7 seconds. This candle took 7 seconds. It opened and closed after 7 seconds. And imagine that. You don't know when the candle closes. You don't know if you have 3 seconds, 17 seconds, or 70 seconds to analyze these parameters that started making sense to me. You know, I selected things that basically represent the reversal, that represents the fighting field with the warriors. I want to see. So let's start summing up. I insisted on seeing the absorptions. That was the most important thing at that time, absorptions. And I still believe in absorptions because it's an excellent sign that there was a deception. And I insist on that because I think, and I said that during the webinar this week, that I was at that time focused on deceptions because I believed, and I believe, that we need to search for the blood at the chart, where somebody was being decepted and lost something. Stop losses were activated, somebody lost positions, somebody won, and so on and so on. So absorptions, I will leave number 2 because I will use it later. Then I was paying attention to the volume, to the absolute volume. Okay, I will write abs vol, like so, absolute volume. I mean 1535, which is higher than the threshold for the third parameter. Then there was the relative volume, which is the power bar. So semaPHorek, basically, okay, at that time I needed to see power bar. Let's stick to the situation before and after, before semaPHorek and after it. Then I was paying attention to the delta, because I needed to see a high delta in that area. And I want to stress something out, without the positive or negative. And that is the difference which I emphasized during the description of 4+2 indicator. I don't care, with semaPHorek, I don't care what the value of delta is. I'm interested in the size only. So I compare the absolute value. I'm interested in absolute value, either, I don't know, 150 or minus 150, because I was explaining at the 4+2 indicator that there could be unbelievable high absorption, let's say, I don't know, 300 contracts on the ask side. And if there were 300 contracts at the ask side, so the entire volume, the entire delta of this candle is extremely low, let's say minus 250. With 0+2 indicator, you will not open the position here. With semaPHorek, you will. Because there's a different concept. So delta. Then I was paying attention to the POC, where the candle closed compared to the POC. And again, it's easier with Renko candles to justify where the candle closes, because for example here is POC here and the candle closed here. As said, the candle closes always at the top or the bottom of the candle. So I was paying attention whether the POC is in the wick, because obviously it's better than the candle is in the wick, then the reversal Renko creates a wick, you know, then I see the absorptions, and I'm drawing and you see that, okay. And then there are absorptions, and then there is the tiny delta, you know. But there is 784 volume, which is above the average. By absorbing the chart, I see that 780 is above the average. What else? POC imbalances. And then my favorite thing, which is just a bonus, so to say, finished business, FB, that there's the zero at the very bottom or very top of the candle. Because if there's zero, it's said that the parties are not interested in revisiting that area. They saw that basically they did not find enough representatives of the opposite side, so they do not have any reason to return there. They already collected all the contracts. So yeah, that was 8. I forgot the 9th. What was the 9th? Never mind. So you see that 7 parameters, 2 is empty. 7 parameters within 7 seconds. That's not doable. That's not doable. And you won't stay consistent, because for example, if you set, let me find the example. I need to erase something. We definitely don't need this. I don't need this. Yeah, okay. Yeah, this is a good example. Look at that. If I set the threshold for delta, let's say to 30, I wanted to see delta higher than 30 to consider the candle as the reversal candle. So for example, if I traded downtrend, then this candle was good, because there's minus 149, which is outside the range, minus 30 to plus 30. That's right. See that? Minus 149 is here, easily outside the range. Minus 30 to plus 30. Now, and then there is this candle. And this was the problem at that time, because I saw wonderful absorptions. I saw 757. That's great. I saw here POC and the candle closed here. Candle was negative. But the delta was minus 27. And I set the range to minus 30 to plus 30. What I was doing very often at that time, minus 27, it's almost 30, you know. The candle is so close. And I've been sitting in front of the screen for, I don't know, 20 minutes. I feel like not doing anything, you know. I feel I should start doing something. Minus 27, it's almost 30. I will open the short position here. I did not respect my own rules. And then there is a candle. There are tiny absorptions. I see that. You probably don't see it. But the POC, you see that, is in the body. But most of all, it has only delta 15. Imagine, point of control here, huge absorptions. What else? Incredible volume, 3,273. But just 15, you know? So, I don't know. Shall I open or shan't I open? I don't know. So I was actually standing, I decided to find a better, wait, it's not that, we are not done. I will delete this, we don't need it. And it's not everything. I was actually, I needed, yeah, exactly, there was the footprint. I was analyzing the imbalances, so I was paying attention to the red and green candles. So I was studying it. 1-0, great. That is great at the bottom of the swing. See that? One contract. That's amazing. So it was really difficult. It was difficult. So I actually decided to come up with a different time frame, different order flow, something different, something that looks different, gives me the same information, but I don't have to pay so much attention to all the values and decisions and so on, and I stay consistent. And all of a sudden I came up with the idea of traffic lights. Because semaphore in Czech means traffic light at the forgot the word, at the crossing of two streets, or semaphore means traffic lights. SemaPHorek means tiny traffic lights. semaPHorek in Czech, and that was really. All of a sudden, I remember that moment. It came all of a sudden, and I immediately knew that that was it. Because I was able to apply consistent thresholds to consistent parameters. I forgot one thing. I tend to open a position here if there was, I don't know, unbelievable volume. Imagine 5,000 contracts at this candle. What a fight! What a closing of a rotation, because Renko filters out rotations. So the more volume at the Renko, the longer the rotation. And they finally broke through the rotation. It makes sense. And all of a sudden, instead paying attention to all these parameters and so many numbers and so many symbols and having the chart flooded with signs and numbers and I don't know, I decided to code semaPHorek. So not this, basically from this on everything is hidden. Okay, yes, it's hidden, that's fine. I even don't use the POC of the candle, so I can actually unzoom. Yeah, I will unzoom and I will change a parameter which turns the candle to the candle width to transform. I will increase it to, let's say, 70. That's great. Okay, apply. And all of a sudden I came up with the idea that I can play something like that at the chart, and it makes the analysis, it will do the work, but you need to load obviously the correct settings. So it's here, no, it's somewhere else. Settings, and I need microNASDAQ 18 US, let's say US middle, like so, okay. You know, and all of a sudden I started seeing extremely clean chart. Extremely clean chart. No symbols, no numbers, no decisions, no 27 is actually almost 30, and so on and so on. And at first I was going to wait, make these conditions weighted. So that, for example, absorptions is more important than the rest of the conditions. I came up with the idea of actually paying attention to the amount, to the number of the, how shall I write it? Amount of absorptions. How many absorptions are there? If the threshold is, for example, 25, this is the information window. If the threshold is, for example, 25, and there were more than 2 levels with the absorptions above 25, then there was another condition hit. And representing them with traffic lights. That's how the name came from. You see that? Each color represents one condition. One condition of 9 conditions. I forgot the 9th one. For example, the first one, the magenta, represents the absorptions. The dark blue one is the second one, which is here. It represents the number of the absorptions. Then the cyan color is the absolute volume. Then there is the green one, which is the relative volume. Then there is the yellow one, which is delta. Then there is the orange one, which is imbalances. The 9th condition is tape. 9 is tape. Because at that time I was looking at the smart tape and I wanted to see that there were huge market participants active. For example, that at this level there was a market participant who traded at least, I'm using red color and I am writing plus 25. Okay, I will explain that. You know, so there was a big fish involved. Not just small retail and not just the middle fish. There was also the big fish there who actually traded at least 25 contracts within one order. Let me emphasize that you don't need level 2 data. Everything is being taken from the level 1 data. Even the smart tape, of course, because it's not doing any assumption, any expectation. This is what it is. What it analyzes is what I find at the chart next day, next week, next month, next year. Unlike level 2 data, because it changes all the time. Yes, and now maybe refreshing. Why have I been so obsessed with the absorptions? The idea, I remember, because I finally, at long last, understood the absorptions. Really understood the absorptions 2 years ago, approximately. Maybe before that. I obviously I didn't make any sign to my calendar. Yes, this will be the celebration of me understanding the absorptions at long last. But the idea is following. I got rid of the... no, actually, it's okay. Here, okay, we have the numbers. Yes, that is the absorptions. So, the idea is that you want to see high numbers on the right side of the footprint at the top of the swing. Let me show you that I'm at the high of this swing, and this candle got semaPHorek 6 lights. And there is the magenta, which is the absorptions color, and there is the dark blue, which is the amount of the absorptions. Now, what an absorption is? We have a footprint. which looks like this. This is the footprint, of course. This is the footprint. So we have a right side and we have a left side. Left side is bits, right side is asks. Asks, the right side, are either market buys or limit sells. Either somebody is jumping to the market aggressively to join the trend and be the part of it immediately, no matter what the price is. He might get slip, slightly worse filling, and so on, but he doesn't care. He wants to join the trend. And then there is so-called smart money. Then there is market participants who basically trade mostly through limit orders. They place an order somewhere where they expect the market to react above the swing highs, where the liquidation is, where they actually can anticipate that there will be breakout traders, where there are stop losses of the retail traders, and so on, and they place the limit sell orders. At each level, they place a few limit sell orders. So when the price gets to that areas, so they basically profit from the stop losses of the retail traders because they are selling. Bear in mind all the time that I'm talking about the sellers at the top of the candle, sellers, and I will explain that in a while. Sellers are stop losses of the of those. No. They are sellers, so they need buyers. They need the opposite side. Who are the buyers? How to persuade the trade? How to persuade the market to buy? Well, pretend that this is a strong uptrend. One thing. Engage the breakout traders, because they step in at the moment of breaking a particular level, such as the previous high, of course. They join the trend because they think, oh yeah, this has been such a long uptrend, and we, above all that, we even broke this previous high. Let's jump in. I'm buying through market buy my position. So these are buying, and the smart money are selling. I told you have to think about them selling all the time. So they sell. They need somebody to buy. They want to sell them. They want them to buy from them. So there are breakout traders. There are traders who are who think that the trend continues. They want to join the trend. And then there are stop losses, because somebody was previously in a position until this level. Above this level, he doesn't believe that his short position make any sense, so he closes the short position by buying. He's short, so he needs to buy, and these are selling. These guys are selling all the time, and they are selling through limit sell orders. They are limit sell orders sits here. They are selling. That was the biggest discovery of that time. That right side represents sellers. Right side of the footprint, this side represents sellers, but passive sellers. It's always important to distinguish between passive sellers and aggressive buyers, because passive sellers sell at the ask side and aggressive buyers are buying at the right side. You see that? So the right side represents both buyers and sellers, but two different kinds of. Aggressive buyer, which means mark, or passive seller, I will switch the color so that it's consistent. And passive sellers who use limit orders. And that is the entire story. That is the entire idea behind absorptions. Because now you actually start thinking about one thing. Look at that. Look at the numbers at the footprint. I'm talking about this footprint, yeah? These two numbers on the left, not about this. 13, 24, 19, 33, okay, 25, 33, 25, 33, 25. Here I have, look at that, 80, 67, 70, I wasn't even prepared to see that much. 73, 55, 67, and 30, 25. Same like here, basically. But you will not find, oh, maybe here, okay, maybe here somewhere. But at the bottom of the swing, these high numbers do not represent biggest fish, banks, funds, institutions stepping in through aggressive market buy. Why would they do that? It doesn't make any sense. They obviously were selling here. At the high of the swing, nobody is sitting at Wall Street in front of the screen and waiting until the trend is already transparent and safe for them to step in, of course, you know. And they finally broke the highs. Hey, let's open the long position here. Oh yeah, safe. It's nonsense. It's a total nonsense, you know. So they sell here. They sell here. They are waiting patiently until the price hits these levels, you know, and they sell here through passive limit sell orders. So when you see high numbers on the right side of the footprint at the high of the swing, then you can think about the absorptions. And the high of the swing was important because what did I say? I want to have a confirmation that we are at the high of the swing, that it's safe for me to open the short position, because I was waiting here at this level until the market confirms me that it's going to turn downwards. So each of these, wait, I will start erasing again. What I need? I don't need this. I basically don't need this. Yeah. I think I don't need this. Yeah, okay. Yeah, like so. So, yeah, it's okay. Okay, that is great. That is really great. Like so. So, each of these conditions, and that was my idea, I was going to find conditions that are not something the most excellent thing. I was going to find something that gives me a small advantage over the others. Small signs that there is happening something I have been waiting for. Not necessarily the best tool of the tools. Something really amazing, explosive. No. I was hoping to find something that gives me tiny advantage. Absorptions. Imagine, I described you the absorptions. If you see the candles and you see the situation here at the top of the swing, the high delta numbers, because delta, it's this footprint, it's the additional footprint. Delta is A minus B. Delta is asks minus bits. So if I have high numbers on the right side, then I have high positive values at the delta. And these are the 18, 20, 11, 32, and so on and so on. Because if you see, then if you search for something above 30, then it's basically here, you know. Not here is 35. Again, at the top, you see that, how they already started collecting positions. So it gives me advantage. When I see the absorptions, is this a confirmation that there is something happening, something really important? I think so. How high advantage it is? What is the quality of this advantage? I don't know. I've never tested, but I've spent hundreds of hours studying the charts and basically getting confirmed that it's a proper way, that it's a good way to pay attention to the absorptions. Let's be conservative. Let's say it gives me an advantage of 3% to those who don't pay any attention to the absorptions. Let's say 3% only. What if I start looking at the number of the absorptions compared to those who don't pay attention to absorptions and who don't pay attention to the number? Okay, very conservative, 1%. 1% only. 1% only. Absolute volume. I told you what is the meaning of paying attention if there is a high volume at the candle or not. What is the advantage when I open trades at the candles with high volume? What is my advantage? Let's say 2%. What is the advantage when I pay attention to the relative volume compared to the average of the previous candles? 1%, let's say. Okay. Delta. I want to see high delta. Really, fight. Let's say 2%. Let's stay conservative. It's higher, but let's say here. POC in the week. 1%. Let's say it's not that significant. You know, imbalances. I want to see imbalances in the candle. I want to see that the entry candle, that the trigger candle was already controlled by those who started pushing the market downwards, and here, for example, already controlled the candle by profiting, by being stronger. 1%. I don't care. You know, finished business. It's less than 1%, but let's stick to that 1%. The tape. If there are big players, if there are really somebody, imagine out of, how much did I say before? I don't know, 35. Let's say that there is 53. Let's say that out of those 53 contracts traded at the right side of the footprint, there were 30 contracts placed by one market participant, a big fish, who decided to push the trigger here during this candle. It's a significant advantage if there are such a market participants at this candle compared to the previous one. But let's stick to something unimportant. And now the entire idea is that it obviously that it sums 4, 6, 7, 9, 10, 12, 14%. 14% is the advantage, my hypothetical advantage of semaPHorek when I pay real percentages to each of these conditions. 14%. So out of 50, am I entering or am I not entering? I'm all of a sudden at 64%, you know, and the remaining at the other side is 46. Oh no, 6. Wait a second. That wasn't good. It's 36%. So 36% is on the one side, and 64% I'm on the other side. Look at that advantage. All of the sudden, it's 1 to 2 all of the sudden. And I was backtesting this entry and this method, and you know that I like closing at risk to reward ratio 2 to 1. So imagine if it is really this successful and it works and so on and so on, so in 64% of my trades, I close 2 to 1. So there are 9 trades, because so that it makes sense. I make 9 trades. I win 64 trades and I lose 33 trades. So I lose 3 and I win 6. And with a risk to reward ratio 1 to 2, I will lose minus 3R, because 1 to 2, but I win plus 12. So I'm plus 9R in profit when using semaPHorek properly and actually stick to the parameters that make sense. And that is the entire idea. I managed to describe you the entire idea of semaPHorek in 75 minutes. Okay. Questions. The first hour of market open, the rank 18 is actually too fast for me. Yeah, that's the opening of the exchange. I like trading from 16 o'clock later. It's also better even after 16:30, because the first 30 minutes is the initial balance time. And when I was trading live for ATAS, when they asked me to trade live and show my ideas and talk about my thinking and explore it and so on, I said many times that this was not a good opportunity to talk about the trades, because we were stuck within the initial balance. So it's an interception, it's a rotation, unlike breaking the high of the initial balance in the third 30 minutes compared to. So yes, first 30-minute candle is the wildest one, usually, at the exchange. Amazing chart details. Thank you. Will I get to free trail to use this software? Will I get to free trail to use this software? I don't offer paid indicators for free, because I want you to pay, and I want you to feel that you paid. I think that that is important moment when you feel an obligation, kind of obligation, to not waste the time. For me, it is the simplest and the easiest readable indicator basically in the world, because you see my thinking, my collecting, my putting the basically conditions together and so on. I understand the indicator, and by testing it for hundreds and hundreds of hours at the chart, I trust it 100%. I understand it, but I can imagine that it's not that easy, So I want you to pay for the indicator and to have to understand it, because you paid for that. It's not a huge amount of the money, but still, it's an obligation. You are obliged to do something. I try to add with the same breath that if you won't be satisfied with the indicator after 1 month, at the end of the month, at the 14th day after paying for the indicator, at the price of the indicator is 49 euros per month for semaPHorek. 49 euros. 49 euros per month is the price of semaPHorek. So you pay 50 euros and you get the access to semaPHorek. You know everything about semaPHorek in advance, including this webinar, including all my videos. You get all the settings for free. You get all the videos. There's nothing hidden. This is the version I use. There is no difference between your semaPHorek and my semaPHorek. No at all. But if you realize after, let's say, 30 days or even 31 days or even 32 days, I don't mind, you know, that it's not for you, that it basically did not hit your expectations, or if you don't understand it, really you cannot do anything, or if you trade a time frame that doesn't work with semaPHorek, you will get 49 euros back without you paying any fees, anything. I will lose money. I'm losing money when you decide to not use the semaPHorek. I'm not kidding. Because there are obviously fees to WooCommerce, to my eShop, and so on, you know, and I cover the fees, and I will send you 49 euros at the 32nd day of your testing. I don't mind. Fees for you paying me, and fees for sending you 49 euros back. You will lose 0.00 euro. Nothing. I will cover all the fees for you. But that is my idea. I want you to be to feel that you are obliged to do something, you know, because why not? I trust the indicator. I know that it works. I don't have any problem with that, to cover the fees for WooCommerce and for sending you money back to your bank account, to your card, of course. So that's it. And that's it. I already said that. So that's it. I will delete everything and I will focus now on the semaPHorek. Okay, so this is how the chart looks like. It's really this clean. And I'm really proud that the chart is this readable. That there are no distortions, nothing is actually disturbing me. I'm able to analyze, I'm able to wait. Look at that! It's unbelievable, is it? At the very high of the swing, there is the Renko candle with semaPHorek 8. At the low of the swing, there is the Renko candle with semaPHorek 6. Look at that. Look how it's able to catch. Look how it's able to catch the swing highs, swing lows. There is one important condition. You mustn't, and there's a great example of that, you mustn't enter the position after one pullback candle, because this was an uptrend, of course, because we create higher highs, higher lows. So you want to enter at the semaPHorek in the direction of your position, here and here. Obviously not here, because this is the counter trend trade, but it works as well. You know, I've never tested it, but this will not be profitable with a risk to reward ratio of 2:1, because you catch basically the swing highs and swing lows. So the risk to reward ratio must be higher, but it's not the topic of this. I want you to open the positions in the direction of the trade. So here at this candle, here at this candle, here at this candle, here at this candle, here, and so on and so on and so on. But there's a hint. The price has to create a pullback, and it's fine to see the pullback at least 2 candles in the opposite direction at Renko 18 at micro Nasdaq during the American session. That is important, because when you see one red candle and after that candle semaPHorek, then it smells, and the smell is not nice. You will see it here. I will explain it here. You see 1, 2, 3 red candles and then Renko candle, which is the entry candle. That's fine. Right after it, a red candle. Right after it, green candle. Right after it, red candle. And this is something I don't like. it's the rotation, it's the range. And when they create a range, even though they would go higher, they tend to sweep the liquidity. So you basically enter the position. You enter the position here. Yeah, it's okay. You enter the position here, you place stop loss below the entry candle, and you get stopped here. This is your stop. This is your stop. And they created even lower candle. This is your another stop. So this smells, and I said the smell is not nice. Look at that. One red candle. It's not, you don't see that probably, do you? Oh, you do. Okay. So one red candle, and after it immediately green with semaPHorek. This is not my entry candle. This is my entry candle because one red, two reds. This is my entry candle with stop loss here, and I'm trading upwards. This is the counter trend trade. This is the counter trend trade, the counter trend candle, not my entry candle. This is not my entry candle because there's no pullback. Look how many candles they already printed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. It's the 13th candle. Look at the charts. How many candles, how many green candles did they print or have they printed when they were really in a strong trend? Do you see 13 green candles? No. It's too much. This may be the end of the trend or hesitation, or I don't know. That's not my entry candle. This is my entry candle, yet it was stop loss, but I didn't know that this will be the development, of course. This is not my entry candle because there is only one red candle before it. It's not my entry candle. So out of these candles is this my entry candle, the first one, and the second one. Neither this is my entry candle because it's already in an uptrend. So I'm plus 2R here, and I'm minus 1R here. I'm plus 1R after these two trades. But pay attention to this. It's 1907 and it's 1927. Within 20 minutes, two trades. And these were very fast trades because I get to the profit really, really quickly. I enter here, stop loss here, and 2 to 1 is here. This is my exit. So I entered at 19.7 and I left the position at 19.12. I was 5 minutes in the position. 5 minutes only. And here I got stopped, I don't know, after maybe 3 minutes. So these are very fast trades, which I also like. I don't mind waiting for the trade. I don't mind getting 5 times, stopped 5 times in a row. However, obviously, when I got stopped 5 times in a row, it means that the market is different. It doesn't fit my model, you know. So I basically don't trade at that day. I quit trading. It doesn't make any sense. Look at that. It's my entry candle. This is my entry candle because we are in an uptrend, and this was the first green, the first red, the second red. And the semaPHorek must be the first green candle after the pullback. This is my entry candle. Here stop loss, here entry, 2 to 1. This is my target. Let's check what was the further development. Look at that. That's it. That's it. You just wait basically for the pullback and follow the trend, and the trend is uptrend. That's it. Not my entry candle. Look at that. This is not my entry candle. Yes, there are 2 red candles, but this is the second green, not the first green. This is wrong. It's not my entry candle. This is my entry candle. I got stopped. That's life. That's trading. That's the part of the game. Not my entry candle. No pullback. This is my entry candle, but equal lows. I don't know what happened next. Stop loss because rotation. That happens. This is my entry candle, and the target is here somewhere. I will use the line. Apply. I will use the line with 1, 2. This is my target. Look at that. This is my entry candle, you know. 2 pullback, 1 entry. And I don't care if there is a red candle, if there is a pullback, if there are 2 ticks away from my stop loss. I don't care. I aim at stop loss or target. Nothing in between. Nothing in between. I'm not opening the short here, of course. And that's it. I did not count it. I think there were 3 profits and 2 losses. Am I right? Something like that. 4 R in 1 hour. If my R is 100 euro, then I was plus 400. Let's count it. Let's not play a game. Let's count it. Really, I mean it. So I began here. This is the first entry, and this is plus 2R. I will use one color only. So this is plus 2R. This is minus 1R. This is plus 2R. This is nothing. This is minus 1. This is minus 1. This is plus 2. And that's it. Am I right? 2, 4, 6. 6 minus 3. It was 3 to 3. You see, even with win rate 50%, I'm plus 3R. So if my R is, let's say, 100 euros, $100, I'm plus $300 in 1 hour without using any other indicator. I don't know what's happening at the higher time frame. I don't know whether there was, I don't know what, NODEtective level or the high of the previous week or whatever. I don't know. I'm just looking at the semaPHorek chart. Nothing else. Nothing else, really. Like a monkey. That's what I like. I was using the avatar, monkey avatar, because that was my idea at that time. I want to use the best tools from ATAS, but I'm dumb monkey. I don't want to read smart tape, you know. I don't want to read footprints. I don't want to understand what an absorption is. I want to push the button. I'm a dumb monkey. I have a astronaut suit. I'm flying to the star outside the galaxy, but I'm dumb. I'm really dumb monkey. All they taught me was to wait for the pullback and the number. And they set it up. They set the spaceship for me, and I'm sitting in the spaceship, and I'm a dumb monkey. I'm pushing the button. That's all. I like webinars. So that's it. That's the semaPHorek. And yeah, so regarding the settings, obviously setting up semaPHorek is a bit challenging, so to say, is it? You have this, there's an icon in the bottom right corner. When you click at it, you can load the configuration or export the configuration. When you set the settings, you can export it and use it next time, send it to the community, send it to your friends, send it to your other computer, and so on and so on. So you can transfer the settings. Or you can load them. When you click at load, then you can load these settings, and this is the settings. It starts here for 6E, which is euro, and it ends with YM, which is Dow Jones. So I created a few settings. A few means I won't be able to count that because I'm not here. semaPHorek settings. So there is 54 settings, 54 setting files for various instruments and various time frames which you can use, and basically start trading immediately. And if you are not able to find your settings, then you can use the Auto-Calibration module, because I created the Auto-Calibration to actually have semaPHorek set the values automatically. And when I unzoom, like so, let's say like so, I can look at that. I will go to the settings, and this is the semaPHorek. All I need to do is click at use auto-calibration, like so, and I will add semaPHorek auto-calibration module to the chart. It's another indicator. Now I can just drag this line like so, and it will changes the number. You see that? How many entries do I see at the chart? This is maybe too much. I think there are too many entries at the chart, so I go back to the settings, and now I can actually pay attention to the importance of the levels. So I switch from basics to advanced, and I pay higher importance to absorptions. I want to be more strict with the absorptions. Regarding volume is also important to me. Regarding delta, I want to be more, let's say, tolerant, and type, I'm interested in really small changes. And I click at apply, and it recalculates the chart and generates, look at that. And I already have much more entries, much more opportunities where I can open the positions and trade it. See that? Obviously the more stop losses, but as said, it's the part of the game. That's trading. Stop losses are inevitable. It's the fee. It's the fee for the game. It's the entrance fee. I say it. It's your costs. When you run business, any business, you can be the web designer, and you might think, oh, I don't have any costs. I'm the web designer. Oh, wait a second. How about your computers? How about your software licenses? How about your internet connection? How about the costs to writing to your client? How about the phone costs? How about your writing? How about your notebook? And so on and so on. You do have costs. Every time. And when you buy and sell, then obviously you must purchase for something. That is your cost. So stops are costs of trading. Trading is an activity. It's a job. So you need to have costs. Otherwise, it doesn't make any sense. Yeah. Well, and a very, very important thing, you need to go back to the semaPHorek and turn off the auto-calibration, and then you can delete the auto-calibration module. Otherwise, of course, it recalculates the situation at the market all the time and obviously changes the numbers. All of a sudden, you had an entry candle here, and all of a sudden it disappears. What's going on? There was the signal and now it disappeared. Of course, because auto-calibration recalculated it. Look at that. When I go to auto-calibration, I can select either last N candles, 50 candles, or last minutes. For example, now it's 20:39. So let's say we are 5 hours since the beginning of the trading. So I set it to last minutes, and I will set it to 300. And it's since the beginning of American session today. However, I can set here same hours previous day. I can calibrate it today based on yesterday's development. That's it. Basic or advanced. As said, use session filter. What is it? Use session filter whole chart. It's not based on the time. It's not based on the previous, let's say, 50 candles, but you can set it. Use local time. I will use it local time from 15:30. That was the idea, until the end of the day, and it will calibrate it based on the American session. I don't need to calculate here 20:39, 5 hours since the beginning of the American session. I will simply set it up here, and that's it. Absorption delta, these are the results. You see that? It found the parameters for myself. Absorption delta, absorptions 29. Setting absorptions to 29 makes the edge. And when I decrease this number, look at that, I need to change it to advanced. And when I decrease it and click at apply and I go back, then it changed to 14 only, you know, because I obviously moved this slide. Yeah, I started not paying that much attention to the absorption. You know, I'm not that strict. So I get more results, of course, because I all of a sudden am not waiting for the absorptions higher than, what was that, 29? 14 is all of a sudden enough for me. Candle volume should be 1,159 contracts to fit my rules. And it used 4,052 candles. It calculated these values out of 4,052 candles. So that is the auto-calibration module. And look at that. 14,1159, that's okay. I go back. I did not have the auto-calibration. You need to link these indicators, otherwise it doesn't work, of course. So let's get back to the auto-calibration, like so. Let's switch here to advanced. Let's change it to 15, 30, like so. Let's set it like so. The problem why I'm closing and reopening it is because the current behavior of ATAS X. You know, previously at ATAS Classic, you see it in the real time, on the fly. However, here you need to close and open the chart. Open the window, sorry. Not chart, come on. So, 22, 21, 29. 22, 21, 29. 22, 2,100. Look at that. 22, 2,129. 22, 2,129. That's it. It transferred the settings based on those 4,059 candles to semaPHorek indicator, to this window. You know, what I like to do is basically make it manually. I'm used to it. I've done it 100 times before, and I don't have any problem with that. But for you, I think it's much easier to use the auto-calibration module. And regarding the settings of semaPHorek, it's basically very simple. Least visible, how many, what is the lowest number of the conditions met? You see that? All of a sudden I started seeing even the candles with 4 conditions met only. Not just 6, 7, 8, 9, but 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And yeah, so I recommend set it to 568, which means 6 and higher. Strip distance, it's just the distance of the semaPHorek. Where is it? Strip height, how high it is. Look at that. See that? It's got higher. Oh, I just see you just. So in this version of ATAS X, you can even change the parameter like so. And then it is basically changes it. Look at that. It does the auto calculation. So you don't need to close the window. It's a good. Look at that. See that? I just tried to tiny move the slider to the left or right. Just change the strip height, which is absolutely unimportant value for the calculation, but it changes the values. And so on and so on. Use auto-calibration, that's clear. Show auto-calibration pulse, that's a value at the bottom of the screen, you don't need it at all. Pulse location, you don't need it. Pulse horizontal offset, vertical offset, you don't need it. Delta. And this is where it begins. I told you at the very beginning that there are 9 conditions. So there's the first condition represented by the fuchsia color, the second condition represented by the dark blue color, the third condition represented by the royal blue color, the fourth condition represented by the cyan color, the fifth condition, and so on and so on and so on. So the auto-calibration module transforms the calculated settings to these fields. See that? For example, minimum contract size for tape for the to get the red color at the semaPHorek is 125. We want to see single market participant trading at least 125 contracts within one order. And that's it. Confirmation count, these are notifications, because there are two notifications. You can get notified either during the creation of the candle, prior to closing the candle, because I mentioned that it's not easy to enter properly, because you don't know when the candle closes. So you see the development at the candle. As soon as 6 conditions are met, you start seeing the number at the unclosed, at the developing candle, and you can get the sound notification as well, because you have the first notification is on a price change, so during the development without the necessity of closing the candle, and the second notification is on candle close. So you can set it, for example, that you get notified as soon as there are at least 473. That's yet another nonsense, but I wanted to add a slider here. So if there are more than 4.73 lights, which means if there are at least 5 lights, you get notified even at the candle that hasn't closed yet. And the second notification, let's set it to 6. So as soon as the candle closes and has at least 6 lights, you get notified with the second notification. Information window, I will show you later. Custom time. I told you that it's important to set it based on the session, because you cannot compare the volume and the delta and the absorptions between American session, regular trading hour session, and the overnight session, Europe and Asia. So you can place 2 instances of the semaPHorek indicator at the chart, literally have 2 of them at the chart, and set one of them for US session since 15:30 to midnight, which is 23:59, and the second one set also since 0001 until 15:29. That's it. And you can have 2 different values, 2 different settings for 2 periods. That is the purpose of this custom time. Then there is the webhook, because semaPHorek exists only in the ultra version, and ultra version means that it is sending out each time when the candle closes. Every time when the candle closes, it sends out to a webhook address a webhook and information. Okay. I'll show you something. Just a second. It's okay. Great. Need to switch account. Okay, that's great. GitHub. It's available publicly. It's my GitHub, and it is here. 5D lab documentation, exactly. So it's at my GitHub, and this address is publicly available. Do you see it? Yes, you do. And there is the documentation about the webhooks, about the indicators in the ultra version. It's at the this is the address: GitHub Pavel Horiak Tech 5D lab documentation. It's publicly available. If you go to Discord, I will give you this address. So this webinar is in English, so I click at EN. I go to the webhook reference. I go to semaPHorek webhook format, and this is showing me what is the format of the webhook which is being sent at the closing of each candle. This is how it looks like. I need to open something else. Just a sec. Okay, this is not it. This is not it. Don't save. Oh, closed it. So this is the message, and when I, where is it? Here. Okay. I will increase the size so that you see it to, let's say, 26. It's fine. Yeah. Okay. So this is the information being sent from semaPHorek each time, and look at that. I will format it so that you see it. Yes, that's it. Yeah, I will do. It's okay. So this is what semaPHorek sends. Your indicator, your semaPHorek sends this at the closing of each candle. Oops. Ah, I thought I lost you. Okay. This is what it sends. It sends when, at what date, and at what time did it send the information. What was the date and time of the candle that was analyzed, that closed, actually. It's not the same, because you can use, obviously, market replay. And then this time and this date is not the same like the date and the time of receiving. Then what instrument it is, what time frame it is, how many candles, how many conditions were met. Ignore this, this is nothing, really, literally. Now this is the conditions. First condition, second condition, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh were met. The eighth was not met. The eighth condition is tape. So in this example, you see now I received the notification that this candle had 7 lights. Did you see it? Maybe you even heard it. And this is incorrect, by the way. There should be 8, of course. It's just an example at the website. And oh, sorry. This is the ID of the candle. That's important because you can basically build the entire map of the chart outside ATAS. And here you get the information about the open, high, low, and close of the candle, which closed at 1825. No, which closed at 1827, and it was the candle from 1825. We are here in this example at market replay. And this number is the level where the VPOC of the candle was. So imagine the amount of the information that are being sent upon closing each candle through semaPHorek indicator outside ATAS. That's the idea of webhook. You can use webhooks by ATAS, but all you get is basically semaPHorek 7 micro NASDAQ. The information from the window you see in the bottom left or bottom right corner, and compare it to amount of the information I sent through webhook. That was the idea. And that's actually it. Is config. Ignore this, it's nothing. And here you see basically the version. This is the current version from the June the 21st, 2026. And I'm using the ATAS X version of the indicator. And that's it. That's semaPHorek. 2 hours. In 2 hours, we made it. No worries, this will be faster. I will make PatternAction and R.A.I.N faster. This was important because semaPHorek, I'm proud of it. I'm really proud of semaPHorek because I think that it's very useful, extremely helpful indicator that helps you being consistent and not being tired and not improvising when opening the trade. Remember the pyramid. semaPHorek is the highest level. semaPHorek is the trigger candle. It must be perfect as possible, without any improvisation, without any, I don't know, now I think I should open something. I've been sitting here for so long and not doing anything. Oh, you do, you wait. And waiting is your job. Waiting 85%, 90% of the time is your job. But you must be prepared to analyze it. Now I don't care. I see, look at that, look at this candle. There is no number. So obviously it's not interesting for me. And I wouldn't open because we are still in an uptrend, technically. This is the question of the time frames and so on, but I'm not going to waste the time with that. But that's the point. So, okay. I'm thirsty. Let's make 2 minutes pause. I'll be back in 2 minutes, maybe 60 seconds. Just a second, I forgot a glass of water. Okay, less than 2 minutes. It's very warm weather. It's currently 31 degrees centigrade in Prague, and when we started it was 37, so it's quite warm here. Okay, the first hour, okay. Amazing chart details. Will I get to 3? Why not use trailing stop? I don't know, I haven't tested it. I used 2 to 1. I think it's simple. You can try trading the position, why not? I highly encourage you to do it. It's not a... There are 1,000 strategies, literally, available. And they are obviously, without any doubt, better than mine. All you need to do is to just improve it based on your attitude, based on your psycho, how you call it? Do you personally use auto-calibration mode? No, I don't. I calibrate it manually. And basically I don't calibrate it at all. Because when I go back to the setting files, look at that. And I show you the MNQ settings. So these are settings from the September the 5th, 2025. These settings are 10 months old, 9 months old, 11 months old. This is from September 25. This is from September 25. This is from June 26. I made some changes here 2 months ago. This is September 25. Most of them are September 25. I don't know, maybe I created a folder at that day because there's a lot of September 25. But I basically don't change the settings. I simply don't change the settings. They work, and if they don't work, look at that. March 25. March 25. 1.5 years. If the settings don't work, then there's something different with the market. It's a different market, and I don't trade. That's it. It's that simple. I use it basically as the pH paper. If it works, then I trade. If it doesn't work, then I don't trade. March 25, crude oil. October 25, June 25, April 25, S&P 1 minute European session. Yes. Could you please explain auto-calibration mode? I just did. I think it's... explain. So it calculates the candles and searches for the optimal values to get that many results. Do you advise setting it to whole chart? No at all, because you aren't able to load less than 1 day of the history, and when you load 1 day of the history, then you include the European session and the Asian session. I'm talking from the Central European summertime point of view, so let's say Berlin time, and I don't want to, I'm not interested in settings for the overnight session. I don't want the overnight session values to influence my settings of the semaPHorek for the American session. So I basically, and there is one important thing, when you get the results, do your homework, which means load more days, load for example 5 days, like so, add the sessions indicator to the chart. Look how many candles are there. That is the problem. I encourage you using 1 day of history only, otherwise you pay for the performance. The performance gets lowered. Session color and session color and session color. What is it? Session color count. Aha, they changed the settings. ATAS changed the settings. Show area, yes. No color. Red from 1530 to 2359. Like so. And it could be more transparent. Close. And that's it. Apply. Yeah. And now you can actually see how many. This is too much. Having this much candles with semaPHorek, it's way too much. It's way too much. 5 times more than recommended. And it even has a lot of recommendations in the overnight session. I don't want it. So I highly encourage you to load 5 days and compare the look basically this. Every second candle has a semaPHorek value, so you need to play with that a little. The auto-calibration wasn't properly set up. It's way too many. It doesn't make any sense. I want to see significant candles. Significant, like here, it's great. Pull back, higher high, or high basically, and this is what I would enter. This is where I would enter. I would like to see semaPHorek at this candle and all the higher lows candles. But this is overnight session without the red background. I need to pay attention to the America, to these candles, and it's way too much. So it's way too much. So that's it. This is how you use it. This is how you use it, and this is semaPHorek. Let's move on, otherwise we are here until the end of the weekend. I will delete all the indicators and I will move to PatternAction. PatternAction is an indicator. I decided to create PatternAction indicator because I thought that the indicators available at the market has one very important and very significant flaw. They were not consistent. And I will show you it at the PatternAction, because I will show you it. Look at that. I add PatternAction to the chart, like so. I will turn off order blocks, breaker blocks. Yeah, that's great. I will enable swing points. Enable swing points, but Visual, show swing labels, swing lines. No, I want swing lines, but I don't want the breaker blocks and order blocks. Show breaker blocks, okay. Draw is extended. Okay, let's make it like this. It's okay, it's doable. So I added the possibility to identify the swing highs and swing lows. Pattern action indicator is there to display the price action patterns. So that's why the name. Price action patterns, pattern action. It is based on a logic only, and price action, no values except swing highs and swing lows. And that is how I explain you the flaw that I saw with the other indicators. Look at that. Other indicators identify and display order blocks and breaker blocks based on so-called period value. I wasn't able to display the swing highs and swing lows without this parameter. To be very honest with you, I am not 100% happy with that, but I have not found any other way for swing highs and swing lows. Breaker blocks and order blocks, it's a different cup of coffee. It's a different sport, different playground. Because when I start changing this parameter, then nothing happens. Wonderful. How is it possible? Structure mode. Yes. Okay, now it's perfect. Yes, now it's perfect. But you can switch from order blocks mode. Do you see that? Yes, you do. To fractals. And now I wasn't able to decide. I think that this mode is better. But when I was developing it, because now it's based on the order blocks, that's why you see nothing when I hide the order blocks. Now you see, I don't know what's going on. The point is, when I switch to fractals and start changing this value, do you see that? The swing highs and swing lows changes. It's difficult, it's unbelievably difficult, trust me, to identify swing high and swing lows based on price action only. Otherwise you get levels everywhere, you know, and it doesn't make any sense. So it's okay to use fractals here, but imagine the other indicators that rely on number, on the period number. Because you start changing the value and the number of the order blocks and breaker blocks start changing too. So it's basically, it depends on a number. If you set it to 3, then you see order blocks and breaker blocks somewhere. When you set it to 5, then some of them disappear, and what's even worse, some of them appear. That is even worse. You see that even my fractals, they are not appearing swing highs and swing lows. It's just a filter how strict you are, how strong. It's the strength. I should have written here strength, not fractals, but strength. Not fractal period, but the strength of the swing highs, swing lows. Yes. That's what I achieved. But most of the smart money concept indicators identifies order blocks and breaker blocks based on a period. If you set a different period, then you get different order blocks. It's, excuse my French, but bullshit. It's a bullshit. Because during the webinar for ATAS, during the videos for ATAS, and so on, I described my method of identifying order blocks and breaker blocks, and I'm convinced that this method works. That's one important thing. And most of all, it leads to the highest possible consistent results. Because if you, me, a friend of yours, a friend of your friend, I don't know, anybody in the world follow my rules, which I put together for the order blocks and breaker blocks, we will see the same order blocks and breaker blocks at the chart, and we will draw them the same way. So we trade the same situation. You know, there's no room for improvisation. There's no room for hesitation, for inconsistency, and so on and so on. The entire method is based on price action. I don't know where did I learn that, to be very honest with you. I read a lot of books. I saw a lot of videos. I don't know, really. I don't remember. And I spent a lot of time. I personally spent a lot of time by preparing for the videos for ATAS, because I created the third marathon in German focused on smart money. And ATAS has a lot of videos at their channel based on with the smart money topic. So I spent a lot of time by thinking and by searching for the method that makes sense and that is absolutely consistent, you know. And the method is very simple. Look at that. I'm interested, what I'm looking for, I'm paying attention in a downtrend, I'm paying attention to the lows. And I draw the lows when the candle closes. And I draw the low. And when I draw the low, then I calculate whether the candle is positive and negative. It's the same like at the beginning of this webinar. You know, there's the high of the candle, there's the low of the candle, there's the middle of the candle, and I pay attention where the candle closes. Below the low, below the middle, below the mean of the candle, that is what I want to see to write this value down as the lowest low of this swing, of this movement downwards. So that's it. And actually, so we have a potential order block and we have a confirmed order block. And now, look at that. Now I actually have the information that this was the lowest low of this swing, right? The next candle closes. Its low is here, higher than the previous low. So I remember the low immediately. It's not important. It's not the lowest low of the swing, is it? The next candle closes. It closes here, and its low was here. So this low of the red candle is still the lowest low of the swing, is it? See that? And basically, before two candles, at the moment of closing this red candle, it became a potential order block, because it is the last candle that represents the trend. And represents the trend means it is a negative candle. The next one, the green one, is also a negative candle. See that? However, it did not create lower low. The lowest low of this downtrend was created here at this level with this candle. So, at the moment of closing this candle, there is so-called potential order block existing. And because the candle is negative, then it's potential support order block. And I'm having it in the memory, the indicator already knows that this candle might be responsible for a new order block. Yes? But it's a latent order block. It's not valid because the price can turn and create new low. And in this case, I will forget the red one. I will start paying attention, which was the last negative candle representing this downtrend. But it's still valid. There has not been any other candle creating lower low and being negative. These are two conditions, necessary conditions for having a potential order block. And only potential order block can turn to a valid order block. So, when a potential order block turns into valid order block? At the closing of this candle. Look at that. This candle. Why? Because order block is a range. It's a range from 2, since 2, between two values. And the range is valid as soon as there is a candle that is entirely outside the range. Means neither high, obviously, nor low, which is more important in case of a potential support order block. Low must be outside the range. Therefore, this candle, closing this candle, was not important at all. It was just a candle that could have generated a new potential order block, not confirm this one. This order block will be confirmed as soon as a candle closes outside it. And it was at the closing of this candle. So at this moment, the red candle turned from potential order block to wait a second. It doesn't have so many back. Okay, no problem. So this red candle turned to a real valid support order block at the moment of the closing of this candle. Because its candle is outside the range. So at the closing of this candle, it became a valid order block, and I can wait for the pullback and trade it. Look at that. What a nice example. So that is the logic at the support side. And we still continue. We are not done yet because we still continue counting low, 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 higher low, lower low, lower low, lower low, higher low, lower low, but not new lower low in this swing. New low, new low, new low, new low, but we need negative candle, not the candle that created new lowest low. We need the last negative candle. It must represent the previous trend. And it is this candle, in this case, it's this candle, look at that. So this candle became a potential support order block. Well, I need to draw it the same way, like so. And it turned to a valid order block at the moment of closing of this candle. Yes, because each of these candles, this one, this one, this one, this one, has at least a wick in the range of the potential order block. Do you see that? So only after this candle closed, this order block turned into a valid order block. And now we have, all of a sudden, we have two order blocks at the chart. We haven't had any reaction to this order block yet, but we have an excellent reaction to this candle. Now imagine you waiting for the semaPHorek candle here. That is the entire idea. And all of a sudden, my basically catching every semaPHorek candle at the chart, which despite it led to a profit of 3R. I start looking for a semaPHorek at the level or at the zone where it starts making a sense, such as pull back to a valid order block. Order block created by very, very, very strict but highly logical rules. You know, it doesn't matter how many candles are there, 5, 15, 50, 555, it doesn't matter. We are what is an order block? It is the last candle represented the previous trade, where the previous market participants were controlling the movement but lost it. And at the return to their area, because they start closing their positions in a loss, and they start joining a new trend. That's why order blocks work. That's it. That's the entire idea, and the entire smart money concept. By the way, discovered not recently, but basically more than 100 years ago by Richard Wyckoff. Richard Wyckoff came up with the idea of price action and order blocks and so on and so on. It's just rebranding the 100-year-old idea. So it's not a recent buzzword. Everybody trades smart money. No at all. It's a very old concept that works. And you can combine it. If you combine it, if you start searching for a confluence, for example, for levels, if you start looking for Linescope level, or I don't know, NODEtective note, high volume or low volume note, and you see the order block created, a valid order block under these strict price action conditions, and you wait for semaPHorek at the moment of return to the area, you have a real strategy based on different market conditions that make sense together, that creates a very tasty cake baked together from these ingredients. And it's the same at the other side, isn't it? You search, for example, here, I don't know, there is this high, lower high, there is this high which is higher, there is this high which is higher, but it's a negative candle. This is a negative candle. So this is the last candle that represented the uptrend, is it? So it's a potential resistance order block, this one, and it turned into a valid order block, I think, at the moment of closing this candle, because the wick is one tick below the low of this signal candle, so to say. So this turns into order block, and at the moment of returning to the area, I mean here, yeah, you can trade the downtrend and trade the downtrend. Low, new low, new low. See that? How it works? Such a dump candle. But the entire beauty of this is that it is this candle. In this case, it is this candle. I'm able to localize the candle. Look how fast. How can I localize the order block candles? Because I know the method, and it is simple. This one, red one. These are order block candles. Nothing after that, because this is the low. So this is the last candle representing the downtrend. How can I know? Because I see the closing. No matter where the high is, no matter where the open is, it closed almost at the low of the lowest, almost at the low of the candle. So it's indeed below the mean of the candle. This is the last negative candle representing the trend creating this low. And maybe it was negated. I don't know whether it was a valid candle or not. Very probably no, because this is the high, and very probably there is a higher high of the signal candle. So it was basically invalidated here at this moment. We are looking further. We are looking further. This is new low. This is the last red candle. And it's a valid order block at the moment of closing this candle. Look at that. So you see for the pullback and you open here long. It's valid and it stopped here. That's it. That's pattern action. And basically just to, I don't know, just to check whether I'm right or not. I said this was the order block and this was the order block, right? And when I turn on the indicator, see that? See this? And basically when I go to the settings, there's a hotkey. I forgot the hotkey. E, okay. Enable swing points, extend. Draw is extended, like so. See that? These are order blocks. And this order block was basically tested, so it isn't valid anymore. But what I can do, I can go to the settings and activate show invalidated. Show invalidated. Here, show invalidated. See that? When I click at that and basically invalidated, I change the color a little so that we see it better. See that? See that? It's already here. It's already here. There are also the invalidated order blocks and breaker blocks. See this order block? Do you see this order block, which I said that invalidated this one? Do you see that? See how consistent I am by following simple price action rules. No matter what. Also this one. I talked about this one. See that? Here also. It's always the same. It's just a strict methodology. And there are also, I think I turned them off, breaker blocks. Breaker blocks. These are breaker blocks. There are currently no breaker blocks. It's possible. This is breaker block. This is a breaker block. When the price breaks through a valid order block and keeps on creating lower lows and so on and so on. So it turns to a valid order block. So it's a method. Look at that. Look how they here basically came to this order block, created this high. See that? And then moved downwards. That's it. And there is an important thing, because I'm currently at the 30-minute chart, at the 30-minute micro Nasdaq, but I want to see obviously these areas even at the lower time frames. I can identify order blocks, let's say at 4-hour chart. The higher the time frame, the stronger the areas. But I trade at my Renko chart. So I add here another chart. Basically, look at that. Again, of course, you can be here at the Nasdaq chart, like so. You get the levels calculated from the Nasdaq chart, but you add here micro Nasdaq, which is technically a different instrument, is it? I load the clean chart template. I get rid of here. I switch to my range 18, and now I go here. I will add here pattern action slave, like so, double click, okay, and I go to the left chart, and in the pattern action indicator I enter the master key, PANQ, all copy, and I click at share as master, aka broadcast. I click at apply and I go here, and in the pattern action I will replace the key and click at read mode, which means receive. And extend to left is the L hotkey. It's a key, you know. And all of a sudden, I start seeing the valid order blocks and breaker blocks. Do you see that? And you can turn them on and off so that they don't disturb you. And you can trade them, because now you basically place, we are at Renko 18 at the micro. Look at that. I will add here the semaPHorek indicator, like so. I will load the settings for micro NASDAQ, Renko 18 soft, let's say, like so. And look at the entries. Look at the entries. How you can basically trade all these pullbacks, all these reactions to the previous, to this. It's this order block. Look at that. They created new low, so I'm interested in shorts, and I trade all the pullbacks away from the order block. It's this one. This is my entry candle. This is my entry candle. Now I wait for pullback again. Reaction, semaPHorek. I go downstairs to the downside. By the way, yeah, this is, I forgot to mention, information window. When you basically have a semaPHorek at the chart, you get the information about the conditions met. That, for example, this candle, for example, doesn't matter, has 6 conditions met. Well, which of them? I don't remember the colors, but I do. But let's say you don't remember. So you simply press the shift key. See that? And when you press the shift key, you get the information. You see that semaPHorek 6 hyphen 9 active, which means 6 of 9 were confirmed, and it was the first one. Absorptions 31 of 20. 20 is the threshold, and 31 was the absorption at this candle. So the first condition was met. Second condition, absorption count 3 of 2. I set it to 2, and there are 3 areas with the absorptions higher than 20. So the second condition is met as well. The third condition, no. There isn't volume power bar. So the volume at this candle is not higher than the average of the 20 previous candle. Nevertheless, the fourth condition, absolute volume, I set it to 1500, and this candle had 1623. I set the delta to 100, and this candle had delta of minus 259. Okay, finished business. This candle didn't have the finished business at the very high. Imbalance, yes, this candle had imbalances. There was no smart tape, and yes, this candle has VPOC in the upper wick. So I can basically really judge, and I just move the mouse. Look at that. I'm just keeping the shift key hold, and I'm just moving the mouse, and I'm receiving the information on the fly for each candle. That's it. So that is the pattern action. Now I basically get rid of it, and I will describe the R.A.I.N because it is another indicator. Questions? Good afternoon from Canada. Hey. Thanks for putting in the long hours, Pavel, working on a Friday evening. Yeah, I like it. It's my passion. I like my indicators. I like it. because I was able basically to put my knowledge into the indicators, and they help me trade what I want, what I believe that works, and what brings me advantage. I like them. I like indicators. 5 seconds. We spoke about it. Did it? I don't know if it's curious or not. Auto-Calibration. So pattern action indicator is also in the levels category. Yes. When I was drawing the pyramid, I showed you that it's my dog is looking at me. He likes me explaining indicators. I wrote it at the very bottom level of the pyramid, and also in the middle, because it confirms structure as well. Look at that. When I add it to the chart again, pattern action. By the way, it's the ultra version, so it sends the information through webhook as well. I can activate here. Look at that. Swing points. See that? Change of character and break of structure. So you basically change of character. After change of character, you start looking. It's a shift in the structure. What I talk about all the time. What I was explaining before. That there was a downtrend. They created this high, but it's a lower high. There was this high, and it's a lower high. SH means swing high. It doesn't mean any lower high or higher high. It's just swing high. But it's lower high, of course, you see that. But at the moment of closing this candle above it, there was the change of character, aka shift in the structure. So I'm going from 30-minute chart to my execution time frame, Renko 18, and at the pullbacks, I trade uptrend. I've always said that the easiest trigger candle, easiest of all, is the first candle in your desired direction. So look at that. There was some reason why they created this low. Okay. Then there was this high. Then there was this low. They broke through this high. So they switched from a downtrend to an uptrend. They are uptrend. And I wait for the first candle, for the first positive candle after a pullback, and I open the position. So simple it is. Look at that. And this is the pullback candle 1, this is the pullback candle 2, and this candle closed here, which is above the high, above the 50% of the height. So I open long here, I place the stop loss here, and I trade 2 to 1. I'm closing here. It's this simple. So that's why pattern action is in the ground floor, as between the lines, as L, representing L in list, as well as in the middle floor, representing structure, because it tells you after change of character, you start looking for the opposite direction. That's it. Here you have, look at that, here you have reason. There was this gap, so maybe actually this candle was your entry candle, and you trade downtrend. But from this moment on, you trade uptrend. So that was the pattern action, and let's continue with the last indicator, which is R.A.I.N X. And R.A.I.N indicator, okay, R.A.I.N indicator I placed I placed the slave version. Okay, this is the R.A.I.N indicator. I described the method. I described the strategies at ATAS channel. So there are basically 4 setups. These are 4 setups based on order flow. Yes. And I will show you something, but I mustn't reveal the directory. The directories, because it was a video for ATAS. I created a video for ATAS where I showed at the end of the video a cheat sheet. Yeah, here it is. I found the German version. Cheat sheet German, cheat sheet ending PNG. That is it. So there are 4 setups, and I came up with the word R.A.I.N, because they tell you what you should trade. Oh gosh, I don't want it. Okay, so I knew it. It's happening all the time. No, that is, yes, okay. It has nothing to do with ATAS now, yes. We are here just looking at my indicators. This has nothing to do with ATAS, and I will switch off the camera. Now I hope I will be able to draw. Yes, I will. So there is the first setup, the second setup, the third, and the fourth setup. I came up with these letters because R means return, or it's the regular setup. It's the most common one from these 4. I emphasized that this must happen at a level. There must be a level like this and like this. This was the example to the short position. Or there must be a level like here for the long position. So we, in the first case, when the price approaches the level from below, we wait for the candle that closes below its VPOC. Candle closes below its VPOC. The candle has here the VPOC, and it closes here. The second condition is the candle as well as the delta of the candle is in the direction of the trade. Because we approached the level from below, we are looking for the shorts. So the candle must be negative, as described twice already, and the delta must be negative, which is minus 38 in this case. That's it. So the candle closed below VPOC, the candle is negative, and the delta is negative. Yes. And the entry is limit sell. So you place the limit sell order at the moment of closing this candle, 1 tick below the VPOC. There was this VPOC, and the indicator draws a line 1 tick below it. So you wait for the pullback, you get filled, and you trade the downtrend. That's it. And there can be R signal, R letter above the entry candle, or R plus. And R plus is when there is a 0, when there is a finished business at the bottom of the candle. So again, you don't need to pay any attention to anything of these. Where the candle closes compared to its VPOC, what is the delta, where was the VPOC, so where you have to draw the line, and so on and so on. You just wait for the pullback. Again, imagine having here semaPHorek. It significantly increases it significantly increases the probability, because it tells you that the price is reacting. And B, you can be much more aggressive. You can place the stop loss above the trigger candle. above the semaPHorek candle and trade 2 to 1, and you close here. So it's the possibility of combining my indicators. Then we have the second setup. A stands for aggression. There must be aggression. And aggression or absorptions. ABS. I told you that absorptions means absorptions. Huge numbers at the upper wick. Such as 33, 19, and so on and so on. So these are the absorptions. Volume of the day, that is the crucial condition. This candle must have the highest volume. 71, 114, 367, come on. So, and this is surprising. You open and the candle closes against the trade. VPOC must be above. This is crucial condition. There is this. Come on. There is this. Okay. There is this VPOC. Do you see that? And when this candle closes, trust me, I'm correct. We are trading resistance and we draw the line defined by a positive candle. Everything is against the logic, but it works. That's why there must be the volume of the day. So you identify the VPOC of the candle and you draw the line. And again you wait for the pullback. And here you wait with the limit sell 1 tick below VPOC. And again can be bonus. It can be A plus setup if there is 0 at the top of the candle at the footprint. So this is the second setup. The third setup is E, where E stands for imbalances. And it is basically the advanced version of the first setup, but you enter immediately. It's not R return candle, it's an immediate entry. Which means there are imbalances at the candle. You see that? This represents the acceleration, the buyers. And there must be high volume. 151, it's quite high. They can be higher the previous one. It's nothing against nothing. But important is, for example, there is 60, there is 70, there is 20, and so on and so on. So there must be high volume, definitely. Unlike here we don't pay any attention to volume. Here should be high volume. So I is an improved version of R. So imbalances at the candle, high volume at the candle. Candle plus delta must be in the direction of the trade. I'm going to. This was the reaction to the support. Unlike the first and the second case, where was the resistance. And this is the support. So there is the reaction to the level. And this candle is being printed with very high volume, with a lot of imbalances. So there is an immediate entry, market buy, at closing of the candle. The candle closes, you see the I letter, and you open immediately here with market. Unlike limit, you click here 50% of your intended position size. For example, if you trade micro Nasdaq and you usually open, I don't know, 6 contracts, 6 micro Nasdaqs. So you open 3 micro Nasdaqs here only. 3, trust me. Because the second part is 1 tick above the VPOC. That is the VPOC of the candle. That is the VPOC. And you place limit buy 1 tick above the VPOC. So you have 3 micro Nasdaq contracts here long, and you wait. Maybe you be rewarded and you get the chance to open additional 3 micro contracts here and get the average price here and then trade the uptrend, or very often the price accelerated this fast that you will not be able to add anything to that. It's usually this fast. When you see high volume, when you see imbalances, and you are lucky that you opened here through market. And the fourth setup, that was tricky to find the letter, trust me. It's a non-belief. Non-belief. Market doesn't believe in the level. Non-belief. Non-belief. Belief? Is it L-I-E-V-E or belief? Belief. Okay. So it's a very similar setup to the first one. That's why I draw another resistance here, but there is a crucial problem. Candle is unable to close below its VPOC. Do you see that? Unlike here, wait, I have a lot of mess here, as usually. Erase. I don't need this. Okay, I don't need this as well, but now I need to describe the first case. So there was this VPOC and there is this VPOC. Do you see that? The first candle closed below it and the second candle closed above it. So it's a non-belief. It's a good setup. It happened at the level, It's a correct delta. It's a correct candle. But the candle wasn't able to close below the VPOC. Very often, the candle closes here, and the trend continues upward without you having the chance to open the position. But it's okay. That's why we use a very, 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 very special or entry order. This is, by the way, the most complicated setup, so to say. That's why it's number 4, and I basically encourage you to trading the first, second, and the third one, unless you are very familiar with the fourth one and you understand the reasons and you are able to open stop, limit, sell order. It's a special order in ATAS, and you place the entry 1 tick below the VPOC and you trade the breakout and you place the stop loss here then, obviously. So when the candle closes here, then there is very often is here a hesitation. Oh, wait a second. What do I do? Okay. So there is a very often this hesitation that the candle closes here and the next one is hesitating. I don't know. Higher or lower, I don't know. It's very often an inside bar, which means that the candle has higher low and lower high. It's a indecision, non-belief, non-deceptive, I don't know. And you wait for the breakout, 1 tick below the VPOC. You want to candle break through 1 tick below the VPOC and you enter here. And you place stop loss here and you trade again is the usual 2 to 1 or whatever your strategy is. So these are the 4 setups, and without the necessity to basically having all this on mind, I created the indicator that basically draws the line for you and decides which candle is which one. Obviously, you don't trade every letter at the chart. I emphasized many times that you need to have the reason. There must be a level where you basically want to see the entry. Look at that. I don't know where this candle... look at that. What did I tell you? I told you, by the way, I told you that this was the support order block. You remember that? It's still the same chart. This one. Yeah? But look at that. You would have been in position since this moment, because the indicator draw you this tiny line, green line, at the N letter. It was the fourth setup, and because the price approaches support, obviously it went down from above, then you basically open the position here. You are in the position already since this moment. This is the line, this is a tiny line. I don't know whether you see it or not. So apparently, without any doubt, this green candle has VPOC here. See that? Yeah, between the close, at the close basically. At the close, or one tick below the close. Yeah, that's right. So that's why the entry is here, and at the moment of the breakout you are in long position here, you place stop loss here, and you basically can trade it here as well, add here, or I don't know, maybe you would have closed here 1-to-1 based on your backtesting and so on and so on. So that's it. And this indicator has the slave version as well, and unsurprisingly, when I place R.A.I.N Ultra Slave at the chart like so, and I set a synchronization key here, such as I don't know, R.A.N or copy, send, apply indicators, slave, paste, read mode, then I extend lines. Then I get the lines at the chart. Look at that. I don't see any charts. I don't know why. Something's wrong. Is global RNQ, I don't know, maybe RNQ3, copy, and here I have R.A.I.N slave, paste, and no, I don't know why. I don't. Okay, I have a line is here. You see that? It's this one. It's this one. Because there is the eye candle. There is an eye candle. Or maybe it's here even. 427, 287, 299, 299. It's this one. It's this green candle. It's this candle. So it sends basically the lines to the, you see that there is another line, and so on and so on. And there are lines above the price. These lines probably. It's these lines. Yeah. 2 red, green, 2 red. 3 red, green, 2 red. 3 red, green, 2 red. So that's it. So it synchronizes the levels from the master chart to the slave chart, and that's it. And I'm tired, and I've been talking for 3 hours. Yes, what a surprise. I basically expected it. The problem is the weather, 29, but I think it's raining outside, maybe. Oh, okay, that's it. Non-belief. Yes, sorry for the misspelling, it's not my native language. But I was hesitating. I wasn't sure. I was thinking that it's non-belief. LIEF. Yeah. Okay. R.A.I.N indicator is not to be used on lower time. No. I recommend you trying R.A.I.N, especially at S&P 500 30-minute chart. It's, in my opinion, the best time frame and instrument for R.A.I.N, based on my experience. So that's it. I have to really accelerate to the ending of the webinar because I'm really tired. I will be sleeping all weekend long. Thank you for being here. Thank you for seeing the webinar on a Friday evening. I hope you have had something to drink, or at least an ice cream or anything else. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me at the Discord. Yes, I am not that active there because I was very busy this week and the week before with new indicators, with the MBO indicators, sweeps tracker, iceberg tracker, stops tracker. And when you saw the last part of the marathon, MBO marathon, I mean the webinar number 3, I was talking about the 4 strategies, and watch the webinar and try to find the indicators from my suite that will help you. It was not obviously done on purpose to advert my indicators, of course not. But my indicators are here to help you be consistent, not needing to start each day by managing the levels, checking which of them were invalidated, broken, flipped, which new lines you should add. If you forget, then you don't see the line. If you forget to delete the line, then you still do have the line at the chart. And paying attention to the low volume nodes and high volume nodes, and what already is a high volume node and what is not a low volume node. You backtest NODEtective, place it at the chart, and you keep it there without touching it for months. That is the core idea. Core idea of my indicators. Having as few settings as possible. That is not a weakness. That is the biggest advantage, which, trust me, requires the most effort to make the indicator as simple as possible. Because I'm not creating really anything to be rewarded with a Nobel Prize. I'm creating something that works, that definitely could be better, without any question. But I don't want to add 10 indicators, 10 other parameters to become 5% better, if you know what I mean. I tried to reduce the settings as much as possible, but keep the core idea of the indicator. It should be easy without thinking, because if it's easy and I don't need to think, then look at this other block, then I can trade it. I don't doubt it. I was thinking about this. This is another block. Oh, why am I doing it? That is the idea, you know. So, but then, what did I say? Because yeah, it's a consistency. It's a consistency. It's a strict rule that works. Look at that. They put to the idea to the area. Yes, they spent here 3 hours, but eventually they basically they were not able to get higher. So you can obviously use this as targets as well. I was talking about the 4th strategy when using the sweeps indicator, sweeps tracker, where you basically, we can try it actually. We can try it. So what do I need? I don't need this. I don't need R.A.I.N. I need the sweeps tracker. I don't have level 2 data. Sorry, guys. First things first. I don't have level 2 data because you see that I have a 1 level at the depth of market indicator only. And secondly, I don't have any history. I was going to show you what I was going to show you. That you could use it as the target And in this case, pattern action apply indicators, pattern action indicator, synchronization PAA NQ to all copy synchro apply indicators, paste. Okay, I was talking about this level. Yes, I need to make it glow. Oh, NQ, MNQ. This doesn't work, obviously. The drawings, it's impossible to synchronize the drawing from NASDAQ to micro NASDAQ. Then it usually takes some time to synchronize the levels because of the frequency of the indicator. Or I will help a little. I will change it to 4. Let's say all copy, send, yes, indicators. No, paste, yes, okay, yes, global. Okay, so yeah, I was talking about the possibility of targeting the levels where it is highly probable that the market visits levels and zones. And in this case, obviously, look at that. If you start paying attention to the statistics, when how often market visits the order blocks. Now imagine that you trade basically the last 20 ticks. Last 20 ticks. It's here. This is 24. Imagine turning this upside down, but literally upside down, and open the long position. I want to have a different color. Is it global? No. Is it global? Yes. Why I don't see it? 625. Aha. Aha, so it's it's here. Yeah, it's here. From here to here. So imagine basically that you trade the level and you open the long position here. Yes, literally, yeah, like so. And you open the position here. Or basically at semaPHorek here somewhere. If you know what I mean. When you see sweeps here. When you see sweeps here. When you see the big market participants opening yes, opening the market long positions here. So entering aggressively to basically finish the last ticks. So basically you can use, I said that I'm going to think about that. I was going to think about that and actually improve the idea and maybe start trading it. Really trade the one tick at NASDAQ is $5. So actually look at that. If you saw sweeps here and you open, for example, at the closing of this case, or this candle, the idea is this. Then you, gosh, I lost everything. Gosh, where was it? 625, 625, 28, 625. Where is the line? Global, 28, 625. Hey, here it is. Okay. And where was it? Here it was. And where is the... I lost the... You know what I mean. It was here. Oh yeah, it was here. It was here. You know? So imagine if you start seeing... If you start seeing the sweeps here, for example, and you open a long position here. And you open, for example, a long position here. Or here, I don't know. Or here. Whatever. You open the long position here, you place the stop loss here, and you trade basically this level to be hit. Here. You trade it as target. So that's the idea. Do you plan on adding any of the 3 new MBO indicators to your own indicators? No, because these indicators work, so there's no basically reason to copy ATAS. None of my indicators basically jeopardize anything from ATAS or parasitize on it, but you can combine it. But what I've been working on currently is a new indicator called T-point. It's another funny name. TPO, time price opportunity, market profile, int. I will write it other way. TPO int T-point T-point and it will basically use market profile for bringing you interesting information and the knowledge from the market profile. Yes, I don't know when I'll be finished. I already finished the indicator, but I wasn't satisfied with the results. There is much more in the theory, in the market profile, than the current. I don't know whether I have the indicator here or not. T-point. Oh, I do. Look at that. See, it's doing something, but so it's not it. Basically, you should set the 30-minute chart, and it's doing something, but it's not it. It's poor. It's really bad. So, awaiting semaPHorek. It's just a version that I'm not going to publish at all because it's entirely... It's not it yet. So you didn't see anything, did you? Maybe in August, September, in September definitely. And so far, it will be something really interesting. There is nothing like this at the market at this moment. Nothing like that. It's really something totally different, entirely different. And I think it will be really very useful, very interesting, and very, very useful for trading. Because what is the market profile good for? For establishing the bias, which is the most important most important information in trading. If you know what direction you should be opening, then you basically have extreme advantage. Now, at my estimated 64% of the semaPHorek advantage to that, and it's a money machine. It will be money machine. And this is the last minute of this webinar. I thank you for being here today and in the previous webinars as well. This webinar is being recorded, obviously, and I need to add timestamps to that so that you can jump from one time to other and not watch the entire 3 hours and 14 minutes. And I hope I will do it during a weekend, but maybe I sleep all Saturday long because of the length of this webinar, but I'm glad I finally covered the indicators and there's finally the material related to that. See you at the Discord. Have a very, very nice evening and see you next time. Bye bye.